Welcome to another episode of the Chokesland Wrestling Report. I am your host, the Ultimate One. So we're here in YouTube channel today as we're gonna go through three topics that we're gonna be talking about. One, we're gonna be talking about the rumors going around about Braun Strowman actually joining Retribution. We're gonna be talking about AEW's Chris Jericho, who criticized his own company because of some segments that kind of clash with almost similarities. You know. Also, we're going to be talking about Impact. That is pretty much um, not testing their wrestlers. They're actually taking the temperature, but they're not testing their wrestlers. And now, one of the either they're not saying if it was a wrestler, they're not saying if it was an employee, but someone has COVID as far as last week's taping. So we're gonna be talking about that and other things. But let's start off with Braun Strowman. Now, if you guys saw Survivor Series this past weekend, this past Sunday, we saw Braun Strowman be part of the Team Raw. Um, According to the internet buzz, was that Braun Strowman was going to get a shot at Drew McIntyre. And my question to that is, why is Drew getting not Drew, I'm sorry, Braun is getting a title shot? Because he was part of Team Raw and they won the, you know, the the match between Team SmackDown, or should we say clean sweep? Braun Strowman does not deserve a WWE title shot at all. He hasn't done nothing. He just lost the Universal title to Bray Wyatt. He really didn't do nothing when he was the Universal Champion then, you know. And Braun Strowman is more of a gimmick type of wrestler. He's not a type of guy who's you can have a world title around him. So Drew McIntyre right now, according to what they're doing, is they don't have long-term plans for the man. You give him the belt back, and now you was thinking about giving it to Braun Strowman. So with that being said, Braun Strowman, if you guys saw Monday Night Raw, he headbutt Adam Pearce. And the guys don't ask who's Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce, apparently he's the GM, but they're not calling him that, the GM. So he got headbutted. And during the whole, after he got headbutted, you had Bobby Lashley going to him. You had Randy Orton going to him. Who else went up to? I don't remember. Everybody was going to him and trying to give him ideas. And he came up with this concept. Oh, we're gonna have a series of matches. Well, then we're gonna put over the winners, and we're gonna put them in a three-way next week, and that becomes the number one contender. Well, as soon as that happened, as you guys saw, we saw the Sheamus versus Matt Riddle. That was a great match. And then we had I think Randy Orton against AJ Styles, where the Fiend popped out. So it looks like the Fiend's gonna be feuding with Randy Orton. They're bringing back a 2 year, pretty much story about the burn compound. So they're bringing that back, but that's not long-term planning because that WWE does not do that. So then after that, they set up the matches for next week, and then Tuesday or Wednesday, Braun Strowman went and tweeted. He claimed that he's tired of politics, and he's done with it. He's gonna get things done by his way. And one of the Retribution members got text back Ali. Now, I don't know if we all know that T-Bar has been going online, and he always trying to mix things up, make it more than what it really is. So all of a sudden now, you got rumors going around the IWC that Braun Strowman is going to join Retribution. Though whoever said it, they say it don't, take it as a grain of salt. It's not. They're not sure. It's just rumors. But even if Braun Strowman joins Retribution, Retribution has been dead. Retribution died the minute the Hurt Business beat them. Mercedes Martinez left. She took off. She was like, no, I want no part of this because this is right now garbage. They added Mustafa Ali into the scene because he is pretty much, shall we say, they're trying to make it that he's the He's the hacker, you know. Um, Retribution and the hackers does not add up. So they just added him just for the hell of it. So they still not doing. They're not doing good at all. I mean, they beat who they beat Team Raw a week before the Survivor Series. So Braun Strowman as part of Retribution, it's not something I want to see. I don't want to see that on my team. I don't want to see Braun Strowman because let's be realistic. Braun Strowman, his biggest run should have been when he was a heel the first time. He has had more heel favorite turn more than the Big Show. So when he was feuding with Roman Reigns, that should have been the one. He should have beaten Roman Reigns. He beat Roman Reigns a couple of times, but that should have been his time. The Rock is behind him. They would put a rocket behind him, but ever since he messed up on a promo, they haven't done nothing with him. You know what I'm saying? He gave Brock Lesnar a hell of a match. That was his time for him to shine. And WWE just brought him back down to earth. And now you want us to believe that he's legit again? See, this is what's the problem. You either do, if you're going to put somebody legit, make them legit. You know what I'm saying? Where's Lars Sullivan? He hasn't been heard of. You know what I'm saying? And they go show you WWE does not know what to do with these wrestlers. Braun Strowman being the champion, facing the champion, Drew McIntyre. And according to them, they said the reason that they were doing all this stuff on Monday was because he hurt himself. He had a knee injury. One day he hurt himself because he was looking fine when I saw the Survivor Series match. I didn't see him get hurt. So when he got hurt. So somebody's lying here, and I believe that they don't have nobody for Drew. Drew just lost to Roman Reigns the Survivor Series, so now you got to put somebody in there that's going to give Drew a run for his money. Braun Strowman, yes, he might, but he's a gimmick wrestler. He's all screaming and loud and doing the same move. He doesn't really do that running around the ring. That's all he has. He's not really a guy who's going to deserve a world title shot to begin with. He just got to Raw. So it's just nonsense. I don't know what WWE's going to go with, but right now, this is not it at all. Let's talk about AEW. Mr. Chris Jericho had the nerve to criticize AEW segments. He claimed that during the week leading up to MJF being part of the Inner Circle and Will Hobbs being part of Team Taz, that during that same segments, they did something similar. The words were chose. The word join was used twice in two segments. Now, what other words are you going to use if you're talking about someone joining a faction? So apparently Jericho said what the hell they were doing, that things fell through the cracks, that, this should have never happened because you can't use the word join because they use the same words when they say, oh, is MJF going to join Inner Circle or is Will Hobbs going to join Team Taz? It's funny because I don't remember none of that. I remember Team Taz asking Will Hobbs, I'm going to offer you a chance to join Team Taz. That's what he said. He offered. Okay? And in MJF's case of being the Inner Circle, the question was, do you want me to join Inner Circle? Which that's what this guy was using. Do you want me to join? And they kept going back and forth. But let's be realistic. The last two segments that Chris Jericho has done has been horrendous. Let's talk about that debonair Broadway act he did with MJF, which it was freaking horrible. Had me getting up out of my sofa and going to the kitchen to get some water because that's how horrible it was. The funny part is that Chris Jericho tried to justify it online and say it was the greatest thing that they ever done. What he didn't tell us was that MJF was behind this. So, MJF, Chris Jericho, I don't know what they're doing, but it was a dumb idea. It's not something. Jericho has been failing ever since he did ever since he started doing with the Painmaker, the demo god and all that stuff. That is great ideas, great whatever. But now he's pushing the envelope, and they're giving him too much creativity, which makes no sense. Let's go back at the beginning of the virus. He was doing a segment that looked like they were the Brady Bunch type thing. If you guys remember when they used to do the inner circle bunch, some stuff like that. That was garbage. That was not funny. That was not entertaining. It was just crap. I understand he was trying to get people's mind out of what was going on around the world, but that was crap. It wasn't something that I was just, yeah, cheering for it. So then he does the debonair stuff, which made it worse. I had to take a walk. And then he did the Inner Circle Slays Vegas, which at the end, yeah, it was cool. You saw Conan and whoever else and Hornswoggle, but it was not funny. It was not funny. So in that part is like, okay, what the hell is going on here? This don't make no sense. So for Chris Jericho, I understand he's been in the business for 30 years, but what I'm looking at here is Jericho is trying to bring that WWE comedy into AEW. Nobody wants to see that. And I've been saying it for weeks. Comedy in wrestling should not be in wrestling at all. You want to watch Saturday Night Live, go watch it at 11:30 on Saturdays. This thing of Chris Jericho trying to bring comedy into wrestling, it's not working. It's not working. It's like it's distasteful to me because AEW is supposed to be the alternative, which means we don't want to watch the same thing we watch on Monday night with comedy, with art, truth, and stupid 24/7 title. We don't want to watch that. We want to watch wrestling, pro wrestling. But here's Jericho trying to bring in comedy into the scene. Stupid. And that's what brings wrestling trolls, and I'm going to call them out, wrestling trolls, to think that this has to be happening in all promotions. No. Are you kidding me? Anyway, let's move on to Impact Wrestling. Impact Wrestling, there was a Fightful Select reported that Impact has we don't know who it is. We don't know if it's an employee or a wrestler, but the last tapings that they had, someone had COVID. To make matters worse, somebody exposed them and said that they are not giving people tests, that they're taking their temperature. And that's a bad move because temperatures, it's not going to tell. We know the story, what the CDC guidelines are. People are asymptomatic. They're not going to show symptoms, and they're not going to show that they got fever or whatever. And yet you're not testing. So if you're not testing, then you're putting your whole wrestling roster in danger. Okay? Now, in case they haven't learned from what happened with AEW, what happened to WWE, mostly WWE, because AEW got caught, but it was like very, very minimum. WWE got caught in midsummer with a spike of COVID infection that people got sick, including Renee Young, that Moxley had in the summer, in July, had to cancel his wrestling title match against Brian Cage. Here's Impact doing the same stuff that WWE is doing, all to save of maybe $25,000, whatever it's cost to just to test these people. Here you are being cheap. You don't want to waste money to make a test, but you're taking people's temperature. It goes to show you that I've been saying this for almost, for 2-3 years. When Killer Cross was having issues with TNA, they didn't want to give them the money they deserve, and I said it. Impact is cheap. Anthem is cheap, and here they are doing the same thing, being cheap. So their wealth is more important than the wrestlers' health, and that is embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? It's an embarrassment. So Impact, again, they've been doing the most. And we know that this goes back to 2018 and 2019 when they bought Access Channel and they kicked out New Japan out of the channel because New Japan didn't want to work with them. They barely could get 140,000, maybe 150,000 people to watch. If NXT is on Tuesday, they done. They can't even get, they probably get 100,000 people to watch. Their storylines are not great. They got a bunch of old wrestlers they just did a storyline where somebody got shot, and now they found out who it was. It was Rosemary behind it. It was who's coming up with these stories? It's ridiculous, and it's sad because I know Don Callis, one of my favorite commentators, is the one in charge. But somebody's got to. This is not great wrestling at all. And then to top it off now, and I'm not even talking about the wrestling part. Let's talk about what they do as far as them not taking tests. And Game Changer Wrestling learned the hard way too. Game Changer Wrestling claimed they were doing tests. We don't know what type of tests they were doing because some wrestlers didn't want to take the test. And next thing you know, people came out with COVID. There was a couple of independent wrestlers that came out with COVID from that event that Moxley was part of. Okay, they had he fought Dickinson in an inside arena when there's a COVID going on. Goes to show you these companies are too cheap to bring in the either do the test and do the right protocol because they're thinking about the money. And WWE did the same thing. They were so anxious. They put money. They gave $18 million to the governor of Florida so they could be essentials. And COVID did a party on them. But people are not learning. They're not learning, and this is disgusting. It's disgusting stuff. Wrestling companies are greedy for money, and you gotta take care of your workers because if your workers are not working and they get sick, they're passing along with families, and now on top of that, your company gets hurt on top of that. But yet, you're worried about the money, and the money, wealth is not gonna help you if all your wrestlers start getting sick. Which is, I'm unbelievable. I just can't believe. Impact Wrestling, whoever's running this, I got no words but to say one word: idiot. Okay, idiot. They've done so many stuff. They're trying to get clout. This company is not going to grow. It's not any better than it was with Dixie Carter. It's not worth it. You see, EC3's not even. I don't even think EC3 is wrestling in Impact anymore. He's in Ring of Honor. I saw him wrestle twice in Ring of Honor. So, I don't know. The Impact needs to change their narrative. They need to change it because this is ridiculous. That's goes to show these hungry money companies don't care about their workers. So, well, that's it, guys. I wanted to bring that to my channel, let you guys hear what I had to say. If you guys like, you could subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, leave me your comments, and let me know what you think about this video about Braun Strowman maybe joining Retribution. Chris Jericho criticized his own company, but yet his segments were horrendous. And this Impact situation, coronavirus or COVID, should I say, because I can't use that word. I might get taken out of YouTube. But how you call it? Let me know what you think. These companies only thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about their employees. And, and it could be one of our favorite wrestlers that could get sick. You know what I'm saying? It's not something, it's not something that they should think about. Right now, they just lost one of the guys, Bob Ryder, who was with Impact for a long time. He died of cancer. So it's like, how are you not, I don't know, you have no petty for nothing. I don't understand it. So, guys, like I said, check out the video. Let me know what you think of the video. Hit that notification bell for new uploads. Subscribe to the channel. Give me that thumbs up. It will help the channel to get search faster. I also have the my notification. Not my notifications. My contacts on the top. If you click on the links that I got on top, you will get into my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Also, I'm on Anchor with my audio podcast. Is there my Apple? The Apple audio podcast is there. It's different than this, but I do shows on Sundays and Thursday and talk about what's happening behind the scenes. And I have my AEW review on Thursdays. It's called the same, the Chokeslam Wrestling Report audio podcast. You guys can check that out. I'm also on Twitch. If you guys want to check out my Twitch channel, it's called the Chokeslam WR. Hit the Twitch so you guys can check it out. I'm everywhere. I would like your support if you go to Twitch and check out some of the videos I got there. I just did one similar to this, but the video was horrible, so I had to do what I had to do. So thank you again for all your support, guys. Again, I'll hit you up with the Monday Night Raw review on Tuesday, and hope you guys could join me and check it out. Again, tell your friends, let everybody know about the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. We are growing. I may not be on YouTube as much, but the audio is doing so good that we're growing. So again, I want to thanks all my 91 subscribers. Let's get more people involved at my road to 100 subscribers. So let's get this popping. Let's get it going. Until then, guys, be well, stay safe, wear that mask 6 feet apart. Good night.